morning, fam. Twisted Beard, GoodMoFos R5, here with you this evening. Hope everybody's having a lovely day. With X27 now right around the corner, I'm going to take some time tonight to do a tutorial that I'm long behind on, but want to get released before I do our X27 hero tutorial, and that is the X26 hero tutorial. So as you guys know, usually I like to put these out when the heroes are fresh. I just got behind this summer, and at the time when these heroes were first coming out, and just wasn't able to get around to it until recently. It's been on my list for a while now. It's crunch time, so we're gonna do X26 heroes right now tonight. So welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Happy to see you. Hope everybody's excited for Eden. And yeah, okay, so X26 heroes, let's jump in. As you guys know, the two new X26 heroes were Zho Yun and Zuji Leang. And both Zho Yun and Zuji Leang were prominent during the Three Kingdoms period, kind of ancient Chinese history, really interesting time frame. They were enemies of Cao Cao or Xiao Xiao, allies of Liu Bei. I have a suspicion that we're going to see Liu Bei in the next couple seasons coming out as either an exclusive hero or a royal exclusive hero. My money's on royal exclusive sometime in the near future. We'll see, maybe after Penthesilea. But in any event, let's get going with the two of them. They're both good heroes. As you can see, these are the heroes I'm using in my legions at present, and I do use both Zho Yun and Zuji Leang in my top, 4/5 legions, the class legions, and then legions 1 through 3, and then the defense queue. So those are the heroes you're looking at right here that I use. So again, as you can see, I do use both of them. So I think they're both great heroes to have. I see them both being prominent in the upcoming X27, and frankly, I see Zho Yun becoming much more beneficial and really coming into his own with Nevsky, and especially if you have Albric. But I'll get into more of that on the X27 video that's coming out right on the tail of this one. So let's jump into Zuji Leang first. As we are doing this particular X26 hero tutorial after the fact, we do have the benefit of hindsight with us. We know what's been working for us, and we can also check the recommended and what's been working for some of the other top players out there. And I'm sure you guys know this, but maybe some of you new guys haven't found this button yet, but the bars right next to the recommended, if you click on those, you see the suggested lineup that the game recommends. You see the often used and the percentages that people are using, and then you see top players picks right here as well. So this is very good information. It's very useful information. It's going to give you really good ideas on ways to use the heroes that are, a couple weeks or a couple months old once the devs get around to updating the often used and the top players picks statistics. Basically, with Zuji Leang right now, both Zuji Leang and Zho Yun were anomalies in that the recommended combinations that the developers were showing are actually the ones that you most likely want to be using. They're usually not. Maybe 2 out of the 3 will go together, but it's rare that for the devs recommended heroes that all 3 of them do go together. But in the case of Zuji Leang, the combo that it's showing with El Harwa, Zuji Leang, and Henry II, for anybody that does have El Harwa, is probably the way that you're going to want to go. Free to play is a little different. You have some other options with Sakura and whatnot as well. But got a little ahead of myself there, so let's jump into his skills. First one. All allied archer squads, normal attack targets. Excuse me, I'll start that over. All allied archer squads' normal attack targets become a random enemy squad with a 50% chance to perform 2 normal attacks per round. All allied archer squads' normal attack targets become a random enemy squad with a 50% chance to perform 2 normal attacks per round. So basically what that's doing right there is it's giving all of your archer legions an extra physical attack per round at the expense of targeting who they would naturally be doing. So it just makes it random, and that's not really too much of a downfall. So kind of just doubles your normal attacks, more or less, which, you know, that's why he goes so good with Henry, who does really well with his normal attacks. But again, getting a little ahead of myself there. Jump into his 5th skill. Each round, 100% chance to put 2 random enemy squads into hesitation state, 70% chance to fail additional attacks, and deal 300% physical damage to themselves. So read that one more time. Each round, 100% chance to put 2 random enemy squads into hesitation state, 70% chance to fail additional attacks, and 300% physical damage to themselves. Okay, so it's going to happen 100%, so it's going to happen every time. That's awesome. It's going to hit 2 enemy squads. They are going to be random, but there's only 3 of them. It's going to hit 2 out of the 3 of them. After it hits them, that enemy legion has a 70% chance to fail on any additional attacks, and they will take 300% physical damage to themselves. So again, focusing on the physical damage, and again, that's why, you know, one of the reasons that it goes so nice with Henry there. And this X26 overview is going to be a little shorter than normal, just because we are coming at this one after the fact. But we will take the time to go through the individual skills and talk about combos as well. Just do it in a little bit less detail, perhaps, than what is our norm here. So this one, final skill. All allied archer squads deal plus 50% damage when troop power is above 50% and gain divine strategy state. When troop power is below 50%, damage received is reduced by 50% and divine strategy state is permanently lost. Okay, we'll read that one more time. All allied archer squads deal plus 50% damage when troop power is above 50% and gain divine strategy state. When troop power is below 50%, damage received is reduced by 50% and divine strategy state is permanently lost. So, you know, it's going to affect all your archers, and that's one of the reasons that Zuji Leang you're primarily seeing not in mixed legions, but with 2 other archers, so, you know, a pure archer legion. It's going to give all your archer squads plus 50% damage so long as their troop power is above 50%. Okay, so the first 3-4 rounds, assuming, you know, you're not way outmatched, certainly at least the first, you know, 2, 3, 4 rounds, you're going to have that extra plus 50% damage, okay? And you're going to get divine strategy. And whenever you look above and you see that something that they're describing is underlined, that means there's a further description. So we'll click on the further description. Fatal blow and destructive strike trigger chance plus 10% with priority action. Fatal blow and destructive strike trigger chance plus 10% with priority action. So again, that's getting back to those physical attacks. Henry dropping a lot of physical attacks. It's going to make all of them, you know, more potent. Divine strategy. So, and then when the troop power drops below 50%, you are going to take 50% reduced damage. So it is going to make your defense tick up and make your legions a little bit harder to kill. So it's offensive in the first part, and then assuming that, you know, the battle goes long in those latter rounds, it's going to turn into a defensive buff for you. Okay, but again, well, I guess the second part doesn't have to be just for archers, but, you know, Zuji Leang so far, and I'm guessing for, you know, a long time to come, is going to be a pure archer-oriented hero. So those are his 3 skills. As we can see, the recommended is El Harwa, Zuji Leang, Henry II. I used that combo last season to very good effect. I plan to use it again in X27 to very good effect. You know, we'll see what new heroes come out, but I could see Zuji Leang being, you know, prominent for a good long time to come. So he is one that you're going to want to max, and then you're going to want to get him into action as soon as you can. Now, we're not going to see, well, in often used we will. So often used will include the free-to-play stuff here. So, you know, free-to-play, assuming you don't have El Harwa, you know, Sakura is the one that I usually see in the front row. So Sakura, Zuji Leang, Henry II. If you want to try a mixed legion, throw Hunk in that front row. I have seen that as well. Robin Hood, you know, I like Robin Hood. I wish they would give him a few more opportunities. There's one or two of his skills that I am really quite partial to and feel like he's still got some potential. So yeah, and Robin Hood, Zuji Leang, Oliver, I could see potentially working for a free-to-play. You might even try Robin Hood, Zuji Leang, Henry II, and see if that maybe even works better. So, but anyways, those are your options. If you have El Harwa, you're certainly going to want to go El Harwa, Zuji Leang, Henry II, walking into X27, and probably for a good long while to come. And if you're free to play, it's probably Sakura, Zuji Leang, Henry II. All right. So that's Zuji Leang. Let's jump into Zho Yun. Zho Yun. We'll look at his skills first. So that second skill for him. Zho Yun triggers different effects when taking different unit types into battle. Footmen, plus 35% countering effect against footmen and cavalry, minus 35% countering effect from them. Cavalry, plus 35% countering effect against cavalry and archers, minus 35% countering effect from them. So it's essentially the exact same skill as what Oliver has, more or less. It might even be exactly the same. So it's a moderate skill. It's not a great skill. It is going to give him some extra defense, and a little bit of extra offense in the sense that he can counter as well. So yeah, I guess when he's footman, it's countering. Yeah, they're both countering. So yeah, it's you know, just improves his countering more or less. So, you know, not a great skill. Not the worst skill I've ever seen, but you know, not wonderful. That's kind of the chink in his armor, you know, that's his worst of the three skills. So we look at his fifth skill. Now this skill is great when paired with other heroes where this skill helps them and their other skills help this. So let's go through it. It's a bit of a long one. We'll probably read it twice, but here we go. 100% chance to repeat 2 times, dealing 300% skill damage to all enemies. Depending on the troop type carried, different effects are triggered. Footman deals an additional 450% skill damage to the enemy squad with the lowest troop power. Cavalry, after a normal attack, deals an additional 150% physical damage to all enemies. After casting the skill, enters a 1-round cooldown. When own troop power first falls below 50%, enter sober state and immediately releases this skill 1 additional time. So pretty easy to understand, even if it's a long one. Nothing real weird in there. So let's just kind of take this one from the top. 100% chance to repeat 2 times, dealing 300% skill damage to all enemies. Okay, so that's 300% times 3, that's 900. Repeating it twice, that's 1800. Okay, so that's 1800% skill damage. That's very substantial. There are few heroes that have a skill that gives that much damage. The downside of it is there is a cooldown in the worst case scenario. So in the worst case scenario, let's say the cooldown takes effect and that cuts the average in 2. So on average, that is 900% skill damage overall each turn. So 300% skill damage to all the different enemies. So paired with the right heroes, there's a very good chance that there's not going to be a cooldown, and that's where Zho Yun potentially finds his, natural compatriots in terms of other heroes that he should be with, and can really come into his own and become a very powerful attack hero. So, I mean, if he's able to do 100% chance of 1800% damage every turn, that's some serious business. Okay. Now, if he's a footman, and just again cutting kind of more towards the end of our assessment of Zho Yun, from everything I've seen and from what I've seen to come and from what I'm looking at in this skill, he's much better as a footman hero than he is as a cavalry hero. Okay, so he's one of those heroes like Oliver, that can go either way, but he is much, much, much better as a footman in terms of this skill versus cavalry, which makes him better as a footman overall, and the heroes that he pairs most naturally with are footman heroes as well. But anyways, footman deals an additional 450% skill damage to the enemy squad with the lowest troop power. Cavalry, after a normal attack, deals an additional 150% physical damage to all enemies. So that's 450% damage either way, though he is geared to be a skill attack hero versus a physical attack hero. And we're going to assume that, this skill is going to be firing in most rounds when paired with the other correct heroes. So we can take that 1800% we just talked about and tack another 450% onto that. That's 2250% damage per round, skill damage per round. Off the top of my head, I don't know any other heroes that do 2,250%, almost guaranteed damage every single round. And I mean, the 450% skill damage is guaranteed once every 2 rounds. So, I mean, we can click up his average skill damage per round to, 2250 divided by 2. So, 1,125 guaranteed damage on average per round. That's some no shit, man. He's not messing around. So, down at the bottom, after casting the skill, enters a 1-round cooldown. When own troop power first falls below 50%, enters sober state and immediately releases this skill 1 additional time. So he is going to cast it irregardless of anything else the first time he falls below 50% as well. So wow, that's an amazing, amazing, amazing skill. All right, final skill. At the start of the battle, Zho Yun's damage plus 60%, damage received minus 60%. If any enemy unit is killed by allies, Zho Yun clears all debuffs and gains 30% damage dealt and received until the end of the battle. So that's a pretty solid skill too. As we know, damage is the most important of the combat components like might and tactical might and all the rest. And the number of our damage power is pretty low. So plus 60% is pretty impactful on both the receiving side as well as the defensive side. And he's getting it on both sides of the table, 60% damage increase and damage reduction. So that's really quite good. Every time an enemy unit is killed by allies, Zho Yun clears all debuffs and gains plus 30% damage dealt and received until the end of the battle. So that 60% goes up to 90%. The first enemy killed goes up to 120%. The second enemy killed, and each time an enemy is killed, it's going to 100% clear all the debuffs for all the heroes. So that's really good. So Zho Yun is really good. I think he's going to come into his own yet. I think we're going to see some major steps forward for Zho Yun in X27 with the pairing of Nevsky. But yeah, his first skill, the second skill, this one, Ever Victorious Spirit, is pretty meh. Not real excited about that, but I have seen worse. But Dragon Battles in the Wind, his 5th skill, and Guardian's Bloodline, his 8th skill. Excellent, 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 excellent. So Again, we can see the recommended here. It's Gustav, Zho Yun, Elbrick. I did use that combo last season. It did work quite well. I felt on paper that Ashoka was a better fit than Gustav, but you know how it is. Some heroes are just never going to be top tier because that's just the way it's structured. But it did end up being that Gustav, certainly outperformed Ashoka. Let's see what other heroes are using, or other players. Yeah, they're heroes too. What other players are using? So Harold Geraint, Zho Yun, I wouldn't recommend that. Don Quixote, Percival, Zho Yun, I wouldn't recommend that. Those are both free-to-play combos, but I still wouldn't recommend either of them for free-to-play. Alex, Zho Yun, Lahire, can't say I've tried that, but anything with Alex is typically going to be pretty good, and Lahire does seem to go well with him, so I could see how Zho Yun works there. Zho Yun, Percival, Oliver. That's going to be a Cavalry Legion. I wouldn't. Well, maybe if you're totally free to play and you need like a second or third Cavalry Legion, that might work, but it's not going to be tops. And then lastly, we've got Harold, Zho Yun, Gustav. Doesn't sound great to me either. But again, if you don't have Elbrick, and before the release of Nevsky, there really wasn't a good Zho Yun option for you. So I can see why people were working him into, various free-to-play combos, just trying to get him in. Top players picks: Alex, Zho Yun, Lahire, Harold Geraint, Zho Yun, Quixote, Percival. Yeah, not much happening here. I was happy enough with Gustav, Zho Yun, Elbrick. It wasn't my go-to Legion in X26, but it held its own. And but Zho Yun, that's him, that's his skills, that's the recommended Legion, that's what some of the other players are using. I'll talk about it a lot more in the X27 video right around the corner here, but I see Zho Yun, Nevsky, Elbrick potentially being a really, really, really mean combination. And if you don't have Elbrick and you're free to play, I still see Zho Yun pairing up with Nevsky in potentially some strong free to play options as well, though not as good as if you were to have Elbrick. But anyways, if you want to make the most of Zho Yun, I would recommend getting Elbrick, who's another hero that I think is yet to come into his best days are ahead of him too, I think. So, but we'll see. In any event, that is the X26 Heroes, Zho Yun and Zuji Leang. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it was helpful. I do think we're going to be seeing both of these guys in X27 and beyond being top tier heroes. And thanks for joining. Please do remember to drop us a comment. Let us know who's watching. Let us know what state you're in. Let us know any hero questions you have in the comments, even if it's not necessarily related to these two. Likes are absolutely appreciated. Subscriptions even more so, and shares are also just awesome. Thank you guys so much for all the sharing there. God, every time we check, I'm just really pleased to see how many people are sharing the videos. So yeah, please do share the videos within your alliance, within your state, wherever you guys are congregating. Let's keep spreading the word. Let's keep coming together. Let's have a wonderful X27 to come. And until the next one, thanks for tuning in, and best wishes from all of us here at the GoodMoFos. Cheers. Bye-bye.